Public reporter.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, we are privileged. Central Bank of Nigeria, I'm sorry, Biafra. Central Bank of Biafra, Cyvester, he was the governor of Central Bank of Biafra. We are privileged right now, we're still here now, this is happening, breaking news. The brother or cousin? The cousin to Barrister Ike is right here. The cousin to Central Bank of Biafra, Governor Cyvester will go. Barrister Ike is here to talk to us. President, please, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We are reporters. We are based in New York City. Yes. Hearing this, it moves those people on our body. From Sakano, he just spoke to us minutes ago. Okay. It's the BM spoke to us a minute ago. The question of Biafra in the Nigerian state. What's going on?
Well, you know, Nigerian case is a very peculiar case in the nation of Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
Without the southeast, Nigeria cannot survive without the mineral resources from the southeast.
Yes, sir.
The south-south issue is not a political issue. There is no south-south. It's only southeast,
thank you, sir,
north and southwest. Wow. That's the makeup of Nigeria. And as a nation,
yes,
if
sir,
we were to be a part of that nation, we must produce the presidency in 2015.
Okay.
If we were to be a part of the Nigerian nation.
State, okay.
And it's made clear. I'm a lawyer educated in this country.
Yes, sir.
I earned 4 degrees from this country, including Juris Doctors and LLM in law. I left this country about 10 years ago to return to join the democratic dispensation in our nation. I helped get Rochas Okorocha elected.
You kidding me?
In Imo State. My aunt is the senator representing Owerri Zone, the famous Christianyanwo.
Christianyanwo, okay.
Auntie.
All right. Oh.
So we come from a cultural background or civil rights.
Civil rights.
My father, my grandfather, my uncles, aunt. The issue of Biafra must be an issue that the whole Nigerians must come to the table to discuss. If we are to be a part of that nation,
yes, sir,
we must produce the presidency in 2015 or we'll go back to the drawing board. That's all I can tell.
When you say going back to the drawing board, what is the message? What are you trying to say?
The drawing board is going back to the table to discuss the division of the nation. For the bottom line.
Currently, Boko Haram is an Islamic state.
That's right.
It's bombing.
Yes.
In fact, it has bombed United Nations building in Abuja.
That's right.
That's like months ago. October 1st, last year.
Yes.
They bombed Independence Day.
I was there live.
Thank you, sir.
I live in Abuja.
Yes, sir. Currently, they are bombing churches. Yes. They are bombing buildings, businesses owned by the Easterners across the country.
That's right.
What is the way forward on what is called Nigeria? What's the way forward, sir?
The way forward is that the northern leadership knows where these people are. They know where they are. Like the kidnappers back home in the eastern region.
At the time, okay.
We dealt with them because we know where they were.
Okay.
The Eses, which are the traditional rulers
at the time, or currently,
we are put in charge of the whole youth in the neighborhoods where they come from.
Yes, sir.
And they were able to smoke them out in whatever tunnels they were in.
Yes, sir.
So the northern leadership knows where this terrorist group is.
Yes, sir.
The northern leadership,
yes, sir,
must smoke these people out and bring them to the table.
Yes, sir.
If we are to continue
in the state called Nigeria.
Well, the worst being that the governor of Central Bank,
okay,
Sanusi,
yes, sir,
was able to use Nigerian 100 million to compensate the victims of Boko Haram from the north.
Yes, sir.
Who is he in a hell to use Nigerian funds?
Sanusi, I've been asked, who are you to use 100 million?
For his own personal aggrandizement.
100 million.
100 million.
Borno has been bombed. Churches have been bombed. Business have been bombed. He doesn't do nothing. But once his state has been bombed,
that's right,
he gave 100 million.
Yes.
What a hypocrisy.
No question.
Okay.
Again, I make it clear to you.
Yes, sir.
Under penalty of perjury.
Yes, sir.
And as a lawyer educated in this nation.
And it is.
And who have gone back to Nigeria to help build democracy.
Okay.
If we are to be a part of the nation, Boko Haram must die a miserable death in the country of Nigeria, and the Igbos must produce the president in 2015.
If it doesn't happen, what do you do? Because Buhari, we're hearing Buhari is inciting bombing of businesses and attacking innocent people. Buhari made a statement recently. The dogs and the bones will be soaked in bloodshed in 2015. That's what he said.
I don't know what he's doing, but he will never be a president of Nigeria.
Why not?
On earth. Why not? Yes. Is that the military dictatorship in Nigeria, he was a part of the military dictatorship.
Yes, sir.
Who ran a process of intimidation and corruption in that nation. We have not forgotten that.
Oh, that's right.
The Northerners have had more presidents than anybody else in that country.
Okay.
But go to the North. Is more depressed than any part of Africa.
Okay.
The educational system is bad. The panhandling over there, beggars
everywhere,
destroying the reputation of Nigeria, come from there. Look at the East, where you have the most brands that can compete with America in space.
Japan, Europe, anywhere.
And then yet, there is no free education back in the East.
Yes,
but
sir.
the Northerners go to school free. The oil is not from there.
Quota system. Is that a
they have a quota system, yes.
Oh, okay.
They have a quota system. What do they bring to the table?
Nothing. They have abandoned granite, they've abandoned cocoa.
That's no question.
Everybody now is going to the East for the oil.
And then you have a system of bureau de change where the Almajiris or the bureau de change people have more dollars than the banks in Nigeria.
Bank itself.
So that's shameful. Again, as I close,
yes, sir.
If we were to be a part of that nation called Nigeria, we must produce the presidency in 2015 or divide the nation.
Sir, before you leave, I know you're in a hurry. I'm sorry, sir. It's a bit to touch you, but CK. Sir Cyvester Ugo, is he still alive?
He's still alive. He just celebrated his 88th birthday. 88th
birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Reporter Cyvester Ugo, former Central Bank Governor.
Yes.
Reporter of Biafra.
Yes, and the former Science and Technology Minister.
Yes, sir.
The former Education Minister.
Okay.
Who returned money? Who returned money when Buhari illegally took power from Shagari's government? My uncle Cyvester was the only minister who returned money to the Nigerian coffers. Nobody else can boast of that. Return money without embezzlement.
Yes, sir.
And that's the behavior of the Easterners, and that's who we are.
Yeah. The Republic of Biafra, 3 years of freedom. Biafra is refineries. It produced soap that people use. When it was blockaded, Biafra ran a free society. How did that happen? Did you hear from the former Senator Governor? Did he ever share anything as to the state of Biafra for 3 years of freedom?
No question about that.
What did he share? Because young people like us are interested about Biafran state for 3 years of freedom.
Yes.
Because people are so hungry.
Yes.
They want independence. They want to be free.
Yes.
We want to share something about 3 years of freedom.
Our economy was better during the Biafran days than now. Our own economy.
Yes, sir.
We ran our own banks.
Yes, sir.
We had our own currency.
Yes, sir.
We had our own agricultural system. We built our own airplanes. We had our own refineries.
Jet fighters.
We had our own jet fighters. We landed Boeings on the streets.
Wow.
In a place called Uli. Today in Anambra State. And that's why the Biafran airport must be built, to commemorate those who died fighting for freedom.
That takes me to Dimo Jugu.
And Obasanjo himself must pay the price for the nuclear bomb he dropped in Onitsha.
Nuclear bomb dropped in Onitsha. When was that?
At the time he was the commander-in-chief of the Eastern region. He dropped nuclear bomb and killed a lot of people. Nobody mentioned that up to today.
Sir, 3.5 million Biafrans were killed during the Civil War.
Right.
And we are hearing that some different agencies or government in exile have dragged Nigerian government to ICC, International Criminal Court of Justice, Hague, in Italy. Yes. What do you think about it? You're a barrister.
That's legal. It is a legal issue, and I'm a barrister of international repute as well.
Oh, okay.
Therefore, there must be compensation paid for the nuclear bomb drop.
Yes, sir. Okay.
in Onitsha and all parts of the
other parts of
region.
In hospitals, they bomb churches, hospitals,
killed innocent civilians.
It was a case of genocide.
It was a genocide.
It was a genocide. That's what Ojukwu, in one interview, he said it was a genocide.
I was at Ojukwu's burial in different parts of the country.
May he so rest in perfect peace, sir.
He is the greatest. I'm going to Germany on the 23rd.
Yes, sir.
For the celebration of Ojukwu's life in the whole German nation. My younger brother lives in Germany.
Thank you.
He's the leader out there of the Biafran, of the Igbo nation. They have invited me to come and speak on behalf of the Igbo nation.
Yes, sir.
Of Nigeria. And as I make it clear that if we were to be a part of that nation,
yes, sir,
the civil service must not be dominated by the North. Civil service must not be dominated by only one group who took power illegally from the nation without democracy.
But yeah, go ahead.
If we were to be a part of that nation again,
yes, sir,
the presidency of an Igbo, someone of Igbo extraction, must be clearly accomplished in 2015, but by all means necessary.
Is that enough? Because we are hearing that some Igbo cabal who are part of the government are corrupt. Can you produce an honest Igbo leadership that can run 2015?
No question about it. There are so many who are not part of that corruption in Nigeria.
Okay.
So many of them are out there. These ones that have the ones you're talking about are the ones who supported Obasanjo for third term.
Yes.
And we made sure they don't hold serious positions in Igbo land anymore. Some of them, like somebody like Joe Iruku.
Okay.
We had to fight Joe Iruku to stand still and make sure he leaves Ohanese. And he left at the time as a result of their support. There are so many senators, including Nwanem, who went down as a result of that. How many of them?
That took away the whole Abia treasury.
No question about it.
The whole treasury of a state.
There are people, there are so many of them.
That's what we're hearing.
God that those in America are returning right now to be a part of the growing opportunities in that nation. Therefore, you will be surprised that we must produce it. We don't care who it is. But as long as they're not a part of that cabal have no vote.
Do you have anybody in mind?
We can't say right now. It could be you yourself. You can be the president.
Yes, sir.
We don't care who it is. But I'm telling you, we must produce a president of Igbo extraction
in 2015.
If we were to be a part of that nation, or we go back to the drawing board, as Ojukwu said in Owerri, during the passage of Igbo Constitution.
Yes, sir.
You know, as a mandate for the whole nation, that we must stand our ground to make sure that we achieve that if we were to be a part of Nigeria since the war ended 40 years ago.
On Aburi we stand. So tell us about Aburi.
Well, I was a kid. I never knew much about
again, I take you back to Cyvester, CBN governor, Biafran Republic.
Yes.
What did he tell you? Have you ever sat with him to discuss Aburi or the central bank, how Biafran Bank was run, or Biafran society at the time? Have you ever sat with your uncle?
Well, this is my uncle, whom I also worked at Science and Technology. I was his first staff at Science and Technology.
Where?
At the Republic Building in Lagos, in Tinubu Square, in 1979. I have sat with my uncle. We lived together. We've done so much together over the years. We still stand in Aburi. No question about Aburi. That policy must be achieved. The not declaring Islamic State must go. The Southwest must go, the East must go. There are 3 nations in Nigeria, and that must be achieved. If we don't make the presidency in 2015, or if the Boko Haram is not brought down to their knees, we must succeed. You
sounded like Dimo Jugo. You said if.
Yes.
If and only if.
Yes.
This is done. If and only if.
Yes.
That is done.
Yes.
You have some elements. Were you close to Dimo Jugo?
I was quite close to him. I remember the day Obasanjo invited him with the SSS man called Amade. As we were over his house, he said, Amade, your only savior is that you are an Igbo man. Otherwise, you wouldn't have returned to Abuja alive.
Who told him that?
Dimo Ojukwu told Amadi when Obasanjo gave him one-way ticket to Abuja, which means come and submit yourself with one-way ticket and go to jail and never to return. And Ojukwu made it clear to him, that he came from Oxford. At the time he was in a welding school at the military school in Zaria.
Yeah, mechanical engineering, whatever.
He was, no, not mechanical, welding.
Welding?
Yes, welding. Not your official mechanical engineering. He made it clear when he came from Oxford. When Obasanjo was in the welding, apprentice at the welding department
of the military
in Zaria, of the military.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is what I have to say. I have my following in this country. I come here to mobilize investors.
Investors, okay.
I've built telecommunication industry.
Tell us about it.
You know where?
Yes, sir.
I own licenses to provide the cheapest telecommunication services in Nigeria as we stand as Nigeria right now before the end of it. I have been in the Silicon Valley mobilizing the biggest telecommunication as well as technology companies to come and set up infrastructure in Nigeria. I just finished a meeting with one of the biggest electricity companies in this country, willing to travel back to Nigeria with me to stabilize electricity.
So are you in contact with Minister Nnaji?
Nnaji lives in my neighborhood in Asokoro.
Wow.
I was at the Nigerian Roundtable Conference on Economic Affairs 2 years ago at the Plaza Hotel here in New York with Minister Nnaji and so many other ministers. And I was opportune to speak at that very function organized by the present PDP chairman, Bamangatuka.
So is there any collaboration between PHRC and your agency that is collaborating with you to build, to improve the electrical supply in that sector?
No, they're not in collaboration. Again, the Nigerian factor. That very agency or organization or corporation in Nigeria must be scrapped completely. That's the basis of Nigerian corruption. It's from electricity.
Yes.
If electricity is stabilized, people will work 24 hours. The welders will work. Right. The mechanics will work. The factories will remain open. Nigeria will produce enough energy to support the Republic of Benin and the rest of sub-Saharan Africa. Right. We have the wherewithal. Hundreds of billions of dollars in oil revenue, and yet nothing is sure. Therefore, if that money is not used in the development of Nigeria, then the country should be divided.
Sir, oil subsidy, sir. Oil subsidy.
Oil subsidy.
1.7 trillion.
That's another fraud.
Disappeared.
That's another fraud.
How do you address it?
That's why EFCC must be scrapped.
They say it's corrupt. ICPC corrupt.
They're all fraud.
CBN corrupt.
CBN is corrupt.
Is corrupt.
And the worst of it all is Sanusi has failed the nation by supporting the victims,
Boko Haram.
by supporting Boko Haram.
In fact, a senator from Borno called him a terrorist.
No question.
Did you hear about it?
No, yes, of course.
That's scary.
That's the situation. I applaud you. I'll give you my private number. I have a following in the US here.
Yes, sir.
I know who is who in Congress. I went to law school in this country.
Okay.
And some guy who went to law school in this country ran for the Republican presidential candidate called Rick Santorium.
Oh, Rick
I went
Santorium,
to the same law school that he went to.
You're kidding me? Okay.
Yes, one of the top 10 law schools in this nation.
Yes, sir.
I went to one, and I have returned to help Nigeria grow.
Are they growing? Is it growing?
It is not.
It's not growing.
Not as much as we need. It's coming, but not now. Not as much.
Some human rights activists say it has collapsed. It's a fair state.
No question, because the presidency is weak. My friend, the presidency is weak.
Jonathan.
Oh yes, of course, he's weak.
They say it's not qualified. They say it's very weak.
He's the one that wants to appease everybody.
It doesn't work like that.
You cannot appease, you cannot negotiate with terrorists. America made it clear that you are either with us or you are against us. Therefore, if Jonathan wants to curb the issue of Boko Haram, he must be with us or not with us at all.
So what viewers listening, this is about reporters. I have Barrister Ike, yes. The cousin
of
Cyvester Ugo, former Central Bank Governor, Biafra Republic.
Yes.
Speaking to us here, Nigerian 2nd Avenue, New York City. Nigerian House is right here, United Nations is right here.
Yes.
And he's making it clear. 2015, an Igbo presidency or nothing.
Yes.
Or we're going back to drawing board to discuss and negotiate. Either that or nothing. Yes. He also went to law school with Centurion, who was a candidate.
Yes, he went ahead of me.
And you know, he has a lot of investments, a lot of contacts, and mobilizing right now. Yes. So bring investment back home. Yes. Barrister Ike.
And I'm with my friend from Wall Street here.
Thank you so much, Barrister.
Dr. J.
When I come over here, please.
An African American.
Yes, sir.
He is a guru on Wall Street, and I want to take him into Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
To rebuild the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Sir, what's your name, sir?
My name is John J. Thomas. They call me J. Thomas.
J. Thomas. You've been in Wall Street for how long?
In what?
You've been in Wall Street for how long?
Only 30 years.
Only 30 years.
That's
I used to work in Wall Street, before the 9/11. I was in 2 World Trade, 38th floor. We are with the security.
I've been in 4.
Wow.
And I was also in the other building where across the bridge.
Yes, sir.
Another building. But
yes, sir. You are a prominent man here who is a relative to a cousin. His uncle is Cyvester, a former Central Bank Governor, Republic of Biafra in the 60s. Right now, you know, having a contact with you too.
I know him very well. I've been knowing him about 10 years.
You kidding me?
Yes, sir.
That's interesting. So we are meeting 2 prominent men. We are privileged. Thank you so much, sir. We want to ask you, he said he's bringing you back home to restructure stock exchange. How possible? Because currently right now, what's her name? The former stock exchange director general.
Yes.
Ndi Okeke is fighting with the current stock exchange commissioner.
Yes.
Yes, commissioner?
Yes, the lady.
Director general.
Yes.
Miss Ote.
Miss Ote.
Oruma Ote.
Oh, yes.
So where do you go from here? How do you rebuild? They are fighting each other, they are looting. There's a lot of corruption with the exchange.
The first thing you have to do is you have to have a plan for what you want to put out there. And once it's like getting rid of the old and moving it out of the way and bringing in a new, the correct way. You don't want to be pulling out sticks and putting in sticks on the old way. So that's what I can do. I can get a whole new exchange, and the other ones, whoever's involved with it, they will go down and they will be they will be of no use, which is what you want.
How do you do it? I mean, how do you do it? Tell us.
I don't implement it. I only produce it.
You produce what?
The exchange, putting it together.
Okay.
Putting it together that can do every facet of exchange and trade that you want to do.
How do you put it together? Our viewers want to hear.
No. There's too many different aspects of it. You just have to know what you're doing to put together an exchange.
Because you don't know what they're doing back there.
You're doing the exchange. You're not doing a corporation. You're doing the exchange of what's going to do the trades and have the legality of who's going to be in it and the license.
Needed to facilitate.
Technology, of course.
Technology.
That's the first thing. So if I know what's needed, they'll bring the technology. And that's what I know. I know what's needed, basically.
Maybe viewers have no idea what is a stock exchange. When you say exchange, what do you mean? You want to tell to our viewers?
A place of trade. It's a trade of exchange.
You're trading stock market, commodities. Is that what?
That's okay. That's all. But you know, they're separate.
Oil, defense stocks, and so on and so forth. Yes, sir.
Stock security. You have the commodity exchange. You have the stock.
S&P 500.
Yeah. All of that. But you put that.
Dow Jones.
You know, you're gonna put all of that together. That's what you do. But thank goodness I was down there in Wall Street, and not being a lazy guy, I was very fortunate that I'd done every piece on Wall Street. Everything that was done down there, including the currencies. So when somebody comes to me, they say, "Oh, you know, in Wall Street, what did you do?" I said, "What do you want to know?"
What do you want to know? Well, there's a protest, basically, Occupy Wall Street. Remember, you know, there's a big corporation that have been accused of destroying American economy. Because the economy here is not good either. Okay, European economy has collapsed. The French economy has collapsed, but they're hiding it. European Union, most of the economy has collapsed over there, and they are trying to find a way. They don't know how. There's protests going on in Greece as we speak.
Right.
What do you think is going on? Is it a global issue or is it a regional issue? What's going on?
All right. There are certain aspects of the market that are not being released to the public. They're not being released to the public. And the things that are really happening that are going down are individual companies and greed that don't really affect the entire marketplace, the United States will never go broke. The United States has money and put away and capitalization which they can bring out. I mean, you have rich people that have tremendous amounts of money that they're never in the newspaper and things. But I say all of that to say it's not as bad as what it's purported to be in the newspaper. And it's an individual thing when these countries go down. Look at England. What's happening to the pound? I don't see anything happening. They're staying. So just as you look at that, the dollar's not doing as bad as what you think. And you're going to see the United States can rise and fall on its own merits whenever they want.
With Obama getting re-elected, this will get better.
That's right.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, he
100%.
will face African policy right now.
100%.
Obama is going to be elected? Re-elected?
Yes. It's a foregone conclusion, I believe.
Foregone conclusion?
Yes, but because...
How do you know?
Because I can see the way the people are going with him, and the ones who can't stop him...
The alternative is not any better.
You see, he has the initiative, and they know they can't stop him. So what do? They make up large stories, and they do things that are atrocious, which the people have seen. The Tea Party and the Republican Party, that they're just throwing mud on themselves, and the real people know what's going on. After all, you only need 51%. I wouldn't be surprised if he could get 71% of the votes now.
You say the U.S. economy cannot go broke. We are borrowing money from China. Are you aware that the U.S. is borrowing money from China? We own China about how many trillion? Are you aware?
125, 127.
Trillion? No, we own $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Over $400 trillion from the China.
Nothing to do with anything. We have resources. We have the military. We have the protection of the. We're holding up the world. That has nothing to do with it. That we've been living. We chose to live on a credit basis. So it's not a question of doing the wrong thing. It's a question of just bettering things for the time being. And we know how to do it. If the minds are out there, they know how to do it. They know how to set things straight, manipulate it, and correct it. There's more to it than meets the eye and meets the newspaper.
Oh,
so we're in very good shape.
We shall see this December the election.
I will
basically and see what happens.
I can write an affidavit, and it will come out true during the time of his election.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Give me your...
Sure, yes, sir.